Every time you take a prescription medicine, you are placing this incredible amount of trust in a process you've probably never even seen. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and walk through the unbelievable high-stakes journey a new drug has to survive before it ever reaches your medicine cabinet.
Seriously, think about it for a second. You pop a pill or you get a shot, and you just trust that it's going to help. But what's the real difference between just hoping something works and actually proving it? How do we know a new medicine is both safe and effective? That, right there, is the million-dollar question.
Okay, here's the best way to think about it. Getting a new drug approved is a whole lot like getting a driver's license, right? You can't just walk in and say, hey, I'm a good driver, trust me. No way. You have to prove it through a whole series of tough, standardized tests. It is all about demonstrating that you are safe and competent before they let you on the road. Or, in this case, into the pharmacy.
Now, this whole driver's test for medicines, it has an official name. It's the blueprint, the roadmap that every single potential medicine has to follow. It's called pharmaceutical development.
And when we say the entire process, we mean everything. I'm talking from that very first what-if idea in a research lab through years and years of testing, all the way to finally landing on the pharmacy shelf. It's a journey that can easily take over a decade and cost, literally, billions of dollars.
And let me tell you, this is no walk in the park. A better way to think of it is as a gauntlet, a brutal trial by fire. Any potential new drug is basically a candidate that has to survive this gauntlet to prove it's actually worthy of being used by patients.
So this gauntlet has 5 huge stages. First up is preclinical research. That's all the testing in labs, in test tubes, and on animals. If a drug shows some promise there, it gets to move into human trials. Phase 1 is all about safety, usually in a very small group of people. If it passes that, Phase 2 asks the big question, okay, but does it actually work, in a slightly larger group? Then you get to Phase 3, which is where you confirm those results on a massive scale, often with thousands of patients. And only if a drug survives every single one of those stages can it even think about applying for that final approval.
And here is the absolutely brutal reality of this gauntlet. Are you ready for this? More than 90%, 9-0, of all drugs that enter clinical trials will fail. They just will. They might turn out to be unsafe, or maybe they just aren't effective enough. It's one of the highest failure rates of any industry on the entire planet.
So, with a 90% failure rate, how in the world do scientists make those incredibly tough pass or fail decisions at every step? Well, they can't rely on gut feelings or guesswork. They need a common language, a language of proof. And that brings us to the unsung hero of this entire process, biostatistics.
Now, don't let the name intimidate you. It sounds complicated, but it's really not. Biostatistics is simply the science of using data to get clear answers about medicine. Think of it as the mathematical toolkit that lets us cut through all the random noise of a clinical trial and arrive at a confident, yes, this works, or a definite, nope, it doesn't.
So, biostatistics plays the role of the impartial judge. It's what determines how many people you even need in a trial to get a reliable answer. It analyzes all the results to see if the drug actually did something. It helps identify and measure side effects. And maybe most importantly, it separates a real, meaningful effect from just pure random chance. Without it, the data is just a jumble of numbers. With it, we get the hard, objective proof we need to make a final decision.
Okay, so why? Why all this effort? A decade of work, billions of dollars, a 90% failure rate? Why is this process so incredibly demanding? Well, it all boils down to one simple, non-negotiable principle: patient safety.
I absolutely love this quote because it just sums everything up perfectly. In drug development, hope is not a strategy. Proof is the only thing that matters. We can't just cross our fingers and hope a drug works. We have to prove it. And that proof, it comes from that rigorous statistical analysis we were just talking about.
I mean, this is the fundamental choice we have in medicine. On one side, you've got guesswork, stories, anecdotes, which can lead to very real harm. And on the other side, you have a system built on statistical proof, which leads to evidence, confidence, and ultimately, patient safety. This whole rigorous process is the framework that protects every single one of us.
So that's the intense journey our medicines take today. But, the process itself is always evolving. With these powerful new tools coming online, like AI, the really big question is, how is this journey going to change? Can we make it faster, cheaper, all without compromising the very safeguards that keep us all safe? That, my friends, is the challenge for the next generation of medicine.
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful and learned something new, do us a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really helps us out.
And by the way, if you're someone who likes to listen on the go, we've got an audio-only version of this on Apple Podcast. The link for that is right down in the description. And now, we want to turn it over to you. What complex topics should we tackle next? Drop your ideas in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining us for this explanation.